In this video, we will practice estimating square roots to the nearest tenth. We'll do so without using a calculator because on the EOG you won't be able to use a calculator for this portion. The square root of 8, let's see what perfect squares is in between. So the square root of 1, the square root of 4, then we have the square root of 9, and we don't need to go any further because we know that the square root of 8 is between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. So let's draw a number line. We have the square root of 4, the square root of 9. Again, we're just going to use the positive result. So the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, and then we put the middle value, 2.5. Is the square root of 8 closer to the square root of 9 or the square root of 4? The square root of 8 is closer to the square root of 9, so these are going to be our choices. I'm going to write out the choices, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, and 2.9. And you can also put 3 on there. And you want to think about it. How close is the square root of 8 to 9? So the square root of 8 is 1 away from 9. It was 4 away from the square root of 4. So it's not like the square root of 8 is really close to the middle. It's really very close to the square root of 9. So it's probably going to be, 2.8, 2.9, maybe 2.7, somewhere around there. So let's go ahead and just try one of these examples. Let's try 2.8 times 2.8. And go ahead and multiply this on your own as I do so on the board. You might want to pause the video. And we have 2 decimals here, so you move the decimal twice. And I got 7.84. Now, 7.84 is not bad. It's close to 8, but we need to see if we can do better. So now go ahead and multiply 2.9 multiplied by 2.9. Right, and when you multiply 2.9 by itself, you get a number that's higher than 8. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out, well, all right, let's think about it. How far away is 8 from 7.84? And you can go ahead, if you're unsure, and subtract. So I'm going to need to borrow 10 minus 4, I get 6. 9 minus 8, I get 1. And it is 16 cents away. So if you have trouble thinking about it in your head, you can always just subtract. So if you think about it as money, it's 16 cents away. Let's come over here and let's subtract 8 from 8.41. You always put the larger number on top when you're subtracting. So here I put the 8 on the top. And over here, when I was finding the difference between 8.41 and 8, I put 8.41 on top because it's the larger number. So 1 minus 0 is 1, 4 minus 0 is 4, and we get a difference of 41 cents. So the better estimate here is 2.8. There's no reason to multiply 2.7 times 2.7 because 7.84 is already too low. But it's going to be close enough because we're only estimating to the nearest tenth. So the square root of 8 is 2.8. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check it on your calculator. So on your calculator, you can press the yellow second button and then the square root symbol. And you can actually plug in the square root of 8 after you're finished and check. And you'll see that the result is 2.828427125, etc. And you'll be able to see that if you rounded that number to the nearest tenth, you would get the exact same number that you found for the estimation of the square root of 8 to the nearest tenth.